Hey guys, welcome back to The Ground Up. I'm Jay. Today's topic is going to be comparing the ENTJ 8-wing 7 to the ENTP 8-wing 7. And so this is all going to be from my personal perspective. I don't really know a whole lot when it comes to ENTJ, but let's see where my NE takes me, okay? So first thing, I want to say that although ENTJ and ENTP are the MBTI, they show relation in MBTI more so, I'd say, than in the cognitive functions. I actually, would think that ENTJ and ENTP are actually very different because, for example, ENTJs have TE as their main cognitive function, their dominant cognitive function. And so they love to manipulate and gather data, outside information around them. And sometimes people can be that data. They really like to be in charge and really like to create systems that can work for them. They are all about producing things that work. They want things to actually physically work in the real world, right? And so they can be demanding by that. Their 8-wing 7s, I feel like they're actually more common in ENTJ than ENTP for that reason, because they have sort of a demandingness out of them. They strive to achieve an objective no matter what. They don't want anything getting in their way, and so that can really build that sort of mentality, the 8 mentality within them. And they have NI as well. That's their second function. What that does is that's able to help them when it comes to understanding the data that they collect. So they're good at understanding the data, which is their main function. That's what they want to do, is gather that and change things around them. The NI helps them say, hey, what is the next step? What am I going to do? Now that I have that information, what does that mean? You can gather information using the NI, right? So not gather information using the NI. What I mean is you can use the NI to sort of guide yourself in which direction you want to take to an extent. So those are their 2 main functions. I usually speak on the 2 main functions just because that's something that's very familiar to me. And I know that it's really a good way to identify who's who. So I know that there's 4, but anyway, ENTP, I feel like they're a whole nother, they're different, much more different, right? ENTPs and ENTJs, although they sound very similar, from the Myers-Briggs standpoint, the difference is ENTJs have TE as their main function. ENTPs have NE. We are the devil's advocates. We like to gather information from the abstract ideas that we collect abstract concepts. We collect perspectives. We do not want to I've heard a lot of people say that ENTPs want to lead. It's not necessarily that we want to take charge of anybody, but we do want to lead in the field of abstract processes and abstract ideas. And so we gather that information from people through different means of investigation. It may be what's called the devil's advocate. We may take sides, we may go against. It doesn't matter to us. We're just trying to gather information in order to achieve our understanding, right? It's not so much about making things happen. And what we have as our second function is actually a TI. And so it's very much so like that. It's a flip. It's a flip between ENTJ and ENTP, because ENTJs have the TE-NI and then ENTPs have NETI. And what that does is it means I want to collect different abstract ideas, and that's my main function. But then since I have TI, I want to build a logical framework of all this information. I want to gather it together. I've got all these different abstract patterns I've collected from the external world, and I want to bring it into my mind and say, hey, what could this mean? So that's why you get a lot of times people saying, if you look at websites about MBTI, it'll tell you, ENTPs for careers, they maybe want to be like a detective or a lawyer. That's because we're very investigative of patterns and not so much data. And we don't really want to manipulate the things outside of us. We just want to, not for the reason of controlling it and sort of building an outside system. Okay, we don't want to do that. And yeah, I'd say for the 8 wing 7 portion, because that's of course the main portion, right? 8 wing 7 ENTJs, they're, like I said, much more common. And so you see that often, but with ENTP 8 wing 7s, that's sort of like where people get, confused, and they'll be like, all right, maybe they'll think that ENTP 8 wing 7s are somewhat similar to ENTJ 8 wing 7s. Honestly, no, I don't think so at all, because I work with the ENTJ myself, and he is 8 wing 7, and I've met other ENTJs, and just from what I've experienced with these ENTJs and myself personally, is that I'm more so I'm very laissez-faire. I don't want to actually hinder anybody or actually be in control of anybody, but I don't want anybody to control me as well. ENTJs, 8 wing 7, they're most likely going to be more, they're going to want to control the environment more, and they're going to be very bombastic about it, as to where their approach is very upfront. Hey, I'm in your face, like, this is what I'm doing, this is me. As an 8 wing 7 ENTP, I'm very much so, sometimes I'll tend to sit back, observe things more, and I will play the devil's advocate, but it's very much so reserved for situations in which I find it to be more critical. If there's something that I really need to know, or that I'm sort of, if I'm building upon my logical framework and I need to know something, or I feel I need to know it, then that's when I'll pry a little bit at people. I'll sort of play the game, but I don't want to command anybody to do anything. I don't feel the need to. If anything, I'd say that ENTPs are actually more so, me personally, I feel like I relate more to ESTP. More so than ENFPs, ENTJs, INTPs, any of those guys. Just because how I go about the world is sort of, I like new experiences, just so that I can take in that information. I like new experiences and new abstract concepts, but I don't really, I'm not trying to be the head guy or nothing. So, and everybody has their purpose, so don't think that I'm just trying to like rag on anybody. That's just sort of like, this is my interpretation of things. It's okay that ENTJs, they want to take charge. People, somebody's got to do it, because I'm certainly not, I'm not going to be that person. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think. And if you like this, then like, share, and subscribe. Anything you want to talk about, leave down in the comments below. I'm most likely going to get to you. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching.